Hello, this is Bill McLaughlin with HypnosisFacetime.com. Thank you for watching. This brief tutorial is an integral part of the live session that we'll be doing at the appointed time. You're asked to watch it in advance of our live video session so we can devote most of our time to the actual hypnosis part of the session. I'm going to talk about what hypnotherapy is, how it works, and what to expect during our private session together. In the process, I'll also debunk some of the myths and misconceptions about hypnosis. So, what is hypnotherapy? As the name implies, hypnotherapy is about using hypnosis as a remedy or treatment to stop, change, or improve something in your life. The next question becomes, what is hypnosis, and how is it therapeutic? Hypnosis is a perfectly natural, deeply relaxed, drowsy state of mind that occurs when you're just on the verge of sleep. The key word is verge. You're not fully awake any longer, but not quite asleep either. You're awake and asleep at the same time in sort of a twilight zone, where you feel extremely peaceful and serene. In hypnosis speak, this is called the trance state, and is a state of mind in which the subconscious is most acceptable and open to suggestions of change. And this is where the power of suggestion comes into play. When you're in this trance state, you, or I in this case, simply suggest to your subconscious mind that, for example, you are no longer a smoker, or no longer afraid of flying, or speaking before a large audience, etc. And that suggestion sinks in, when in the past it just went in one ear and out the other. Now, the reason you feel so good during this drowsy trance time is because it's virtually the only time of day that you're able to let your security guard down. You're now in a total comfort zone, where all your fears and insecurities, real or imagined, can be let go, can be dropped. Listen carefully now, because here's the crux of the problem. That security guard has been keeping you in your comfort zone to protect you against some imagined harm, has at the same time been preventing you from making the improvements in your life that you want to make. It has taken away your free will and left you virtually impotent. When you're in that state of mind, when your guard is down and you're not so defensive, you can change anything about yourself that you want. Because now, nothing's blocking you from changing. Nothing's hindering you. Now you're the boss of your faculties, instead of them being the boss of you. And that's the correct relationship to have with them, isn't it? So the primary purpose of hypnotic trance is to relax or bypass that security guard, that gatekeeper, in order to be free to change your life in any way you want to change it, improve it in any way you want to improve it. Now, relaxing your security guard happens naturally at bedtime. You don't actually do anything to induce it, except maybe to turn off the TV and shut the lights, and maybe have a "this day is finished" attitude, which is fairly easy to have because you're pretty exhausted at this point. Exhausted mostly from keeping your guard up all day, trying to stay in your comfort zone all day, afraid to leave it even for a moment. What we want to do now is to induce that state of mind purposely, induce it artificially, induce it at will, not for the purpose of sleep, though it can be used for that, but for therapeutic or personal development purposes. This procedure is what hypnotists call You guessed it, an induction. So when we work to get you to sleep, we're not talking about real sleep, but about that drowsy comfort zone sleep when you're awake and asleep at the same time. I take you on a pleasant journey, similar in effect to a child's counting sheep, for example, where I lull you to sleep. You're physically and mentally at rest, but still fully conscious and alert at the same time, and in control at the same time. Let's move on now and look briefly at how your mind works, for example, to maintain a bad habit against your will. The mind is divided into two parts, a conscious part and a subconscious part. The conscious part is the analytical, rational, decision-making part. It's also the location of the willpower, which we'll get to in a moment. The subconscious part of the mind contains all your beliefs, all your emotions, all your long-term memories, and all your habits, both the good ones and the bad ones. The conscious mind is like a computer, and the subconscious mind is like the computer program, behaving exactly as you programmed it to behave somewhere in your past, consciously or unconsciously. In other words, most all of your habits are unconsciously driven, causing you to operate on automatic pilot, like a robot. Now listen closely regarding willpower. Your willpower has no power over your subconscious habits because they're below the level of awareness. The willpower can only affect conscious things, things that are seen, heard, thought, and felt, not invisible subconscious things, not unconscious things. Now, this wrong use of willpower, this misuse of willpower, is the primary cause of most failure when you're trying to stop or achieve something in your life. You try and try, but nothing changes. You become frustrated and demoralized and eventually give up and blame yourself. Then the doubt and guilt and diminished confidence spring up, don't they? I want to stop all that nonsense right now and use know-how and intelligence to effect change, not the blind, ineffective brute force of willpower. Trying is planning to fail. Trying is failing with honors. Oh, I'm a good person, at least I tried. Trying is an admission that you don't yet have it. You don't yet have the power to do it. And that's where the big lie lies. That's where the big mistake is. You do have the power right now to make the change you want. You just don't know how to do it. But you're learning right now from this video, from our upcoming live session. The correct use of your willpower is to not try, but to do it. Not try to do it, but just do it, period. Thoughts and feelings not only have nothing to do with your success, but are the hindrance themselves. You can't end a limitation with the same mind that created it. It's a contradiction, isn't it? It's a contradiction in terms. Let's continue with how the mind works. Your security guard is located at the border between the conscious and subconscious parts of the mind. In order to access your subconscious to introduce a change, you must first induce that guard to relax to a point where it's less defensive and more open and receptive to the entrance of something new and different. And the final part of your transformation happens as follows. After you're sufficiently relaxed via the induction procedure discussed, I simply tell your subconscious mind in no uncertain terms the change you want to happen, and it must, and immediately begins to happen. And that's really all there is to it. There's nothing mystical about it. There's no hocus pocus about it. It's scientific. The difference between your past attempts and this method is that before your desire just went in one ear and out the other, causing no effect at all. Utilizing this reality-based method, you are incorporating, you're internalizing your desire into the subconscious to powerfully override any unwanted program from the past. And that's it. Then you have it. So during the live hypnosis session, all you have to do is just relax, let go, and let me do all the work. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to analyze it. And don't try to resist it. If you do, know well that that's your security guard acting up again. And when it does, just dismiss it. Change the subject. Dismiss it immediately. And return full, open-minded attention to my words again and again and again. And have an attitude of positive expectancy. Just expect this to work, even though nothing ever has before. And it works because that subconscious obstruction has finally been removed. And it's so easy, you can do it with your eyes closed. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you at the live session.